Good morning, Off the Bench Sports family. We are here again, as we always are, on location somewhere. Today, the location is Thibodaux High School, home of the Tigers, 5A state champions, recognizable face. He's been around forever.
Yeah, forever.
Tradition, humbleness, meekness, demeanor is excellent. His name, Tony Clark. What's up, Coach?
What's up? How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm honored, man.
Yeah, I like that.
I like to, I like. Everybody know I like to run this trap, boy. I
Yeah.
like to run this pie trap, man.
Yeah.
So when I get to chop it up with a guy like you that's been around the block, that isn't afraid of anything or anyone, man, that just makes my heart happy.
Make me sound old too.
No, man, you young. Well, you
Yeah.
is old in the coaching game.
In the game, yeah, in the game.
In the coaching game, you got a couple of days on you. In the game of life, you look good.
Hey,
Like,
thank you.
You look
Appreciate
good,
that.
man. Like,
Appreciate that one.
skin is shining.
Yeah,
You
especially
know?
after Saturday, it came back.
Yeah.
The big bags under my eyes on it.
Yeah, and you finally got to get some sleep.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
That too. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
man. So, first time, always ask first timers to give the Off the Bench Sports family some bio.
Yeah, bio on me. Thibodaux High graduate, 1987. From there, went to Tulane, played football at Tulane, graduated in 92 in sports administration. Then decided, wanted to get into education after some other things didn't really work out. So started at Assumption High School, worked there for about 9 years. Became head basketball coach. Now I don't remember years, but I became head basketball coach. I was there for 6 years as head coach. Live in Thibodaux, moved here. Then 2 years later, after moving here, I became head basketball coach. So been head coach here for 13 years.
See there, you're old.
Yeah. So this is about
That's
18 years as a head coach. So
yeah, but you got
25.
Yeah, you got 25 years in education, man. That's
Appreciate it.
applaudable, man. Like, you've seen the change from generation to generation. This is going on your third generation of kids.
Yeah, definitely.
How good has basketball been to you?
It's been great to me. It's I enjoy it, love it. And I've seen the changes from when I started. Young coach, didn't really know a whole lot. Thought I did, and I found out I didn't. But that's one of the things. Having good friends who help, going to coaching clinics, reading. Any way you can educate yourself to make yourself better. That's what I did, especially early.
Right. We were talking earlier about confidence in the game. You shared with me. Go ahead and talk about that for a little bit.
Well, you got to, and I'm lucky. I got some of all ages. I got some older cats that I can talk to. I got some younger. I got some guys who started with me. And you got, as a coach, you got to have that, because you know how people all think they can do your job better than you.
Right.
Unless you do this on this level, because I think each level is a little bit different.
Right.
Nobody can really understand what it takes, what you actually go through.
Well, I tell kids all the time, especially kids that are entering high school from middle school, whatever you thought the game was in middle school, the high school game is 3 to 5 times faster than that. So if you're a middle school coach thinking that you can coach on the high school level, it's the same thing. The game is 3 to 5 times faster than your eyes are used to visualizing it, unless you watch a lot of basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
And we know it's only one guy that watches basketball like that.
That's you, huh?
You said it, I didn't. No, I'm just playing.
But that's true, though. It is. And it takes a while to I guess, get used to seeing it at that speed,
Yeah. It really does, man. How was Tulane for you?
Tulane was good. Of course, got there young when I was 17, I think, when I started. You go through the little homesickness, and then all of a sudden you start playing a little bit, and I'm like, wow, everybody's good.
Right.
I was pretty good here. But then you get there, everybody's just as big everybody's fast.
Right.
So, that was an adjustment. But the best thing about it is I made lifelong friends.
Right.
From Tulane. In fact, Matt Young, I don't know if you know Matt, but Matt is
I
from New Orleans. He coaches a lot in the AAU circuit.
Okay.
We talked a couple of days ago. And, it's one of the calls I make sometimes just to talk a little basketball.
You finish at Tulane,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get your first job at Assumption.
Mm-hmm.
How did you choose basketball being a football player?
Well, I was coaching football. I was an assistant. You get that other sport, make a little more money.
Right.
But I always did enjoy basketball. I was an assistant. There were some circumstances that came up, like I think it was 3 years later, where the head coach left kind of at a bad time. He left, I want to say it was July, August.
Right.
And it's difficult to find a coach at that time
That's
of the
right.
year. And I can remember the assistant superintendent talked to me about taking over as basketball coach for the following year. Did it, loved it, ended up having a winning season first year. And ever since that, I stuck with it,
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you a football player or a basketball coach now?
Basketball coach. Yeah, football is long gone. I stopped coaching football here, I guess maybe 8-9 years ago, and never had a second thought about it. And to me, coaching is coaching, regardless of what you played. I think a good coach can coach whatever. Just give them time to prepare.
Right.
Because coaching is teaching.
And being a student of the game
Student.
yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And I've always been, a student of the game.
If you went to Tulane at 17, you're damn smart.
Well, I'll try that.
Like, that's just
Unless
what that
math.
is.
No, math. I'm
Hey, smart is smart.
Yeah.
Again, we were talking earlier, talked about the fact that we as in you and I, are sick of hearing guys say kids can play, but.
Yeah. And that's just an out. Either a kid can play and I hate to just say a kid can't play. But we talked about schools looking at kids. Maybe he doesn't fit what you need. That don't mean the kid can't play. The kid can play. He can play. Period.
How about we stop saying kids are dogs? Every kid's not a dog.
Yeah.
But every kid has a specialty or a specialized skill set that they can bring into your program that will help your program win games.
Yeah.
You may need a rebounder. It's plenty of guys across the state of Louisiana that rebounds well. You may need a point guard, someone to fundamentally, soundly manage your squad. Yeah. It's 2 or 3 guys right here at Thibodaux High School that can do that.
That can manage your squad. We had I think one of the best in the state, in my opinion.
Right.
In Lil Kobe, that can manage a squad. He managed the squad.
Right. And so to me, that's what I was always told the point guard job was, to manage the squad. Mm-hmm. To put the team in the best situations to win at the end of the night.
Yes.
To make the right basketball decisions.
Yes.
So you don't have to be a dog to make the right basketball decisions.
No. And dog, that's your opinion anyway. Some think he's a dog. Kid can play, he can play. And it's up to us. And I feel, I had a great basketball staff to enhance the little areas that he may need improvements on.
That's called coaching.
Yeah. That's
or coaching up.
Yeah.
How does, and I'm going to keep harping on this because this is what it is.
Yeah.
How does a football player, make adjustments to becoming a first-time basketball coach? What was your first biggest hurdle that you had to overcome?
The first I worked with 2 guys who were pretty good. The first biggest hurdle, and I'm going to say it like this because it took a while for me to get to this point. To understand that my game may not look like what other games look like. I can remember there was a guy who told me once after a game, we beat a team, and he said, but I love the offense that they ran. But they only scored, I want to say they scored 35 points against us. We beat them, I know we beat them by about 15. I'm like, he's looking at the way they ran their offense, even though they couldn't score. We played well, and just getting to the point where it doesn't really matter how it looks, it's what you accomplish with it. You know, I think that's one of the hurdles it took me a little while to get over.
You go and your program at Assumption was good, and I'm gonna tell you it was good because you went from 4A to 5A. You don't get to make that leap unless you do some good stuff. Nobody's gonna bring a bad 4A coach in to coach 5A. You get to come home to Thibodaux. How was that?
It was great. It was great. You know, and I think most coaches, it's a little bit more pride when you coach for the school that you graduated from. You know, it's a sense of pride. I mean, this is my school. You know, it's my school.
By your words, you said that you coached football and basketball here for 9 years.
Yeah, I coached football. It was a few years I coached football here. When I came back, I initially coached football. I was offensive coordinator for a year, running backs coach, quarterbacks coach, I've done all of that. You know, but I still loved coaching basketball.
When did you decide to make the change to basketball full time?
Well, I guess when I became head coach at Assumption, that was probably the start. You know, I thought about football again at times, but you know, I just loved it. Loved doing it.